aren't the droids we're looking for.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It's them! Blast them!
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Tactics Talk channel episode. My name is Colton and today we are going to be talking about the bounty hunters of Star Wars Legion and their rankings. Kicking us right off, once again, here is our different criteria, whatever side Jared puts it on, for what makes a unit good. Lots of new stuff coming our way. I will absolutely rank those new operatives and commanders in both Rebels and Empire, especially now that we got that info, but I want to finish up this series so that way we can be perfectly on time for all the new stuff to keep rolling in and adding to our collection of info. So kicking us off though, we have Boba Fett, and this is my most played unit in Legion. I played a ton of Boba Fett in the last edition. This is my dog for real, and there's not a lot of ways you see him anymore. He's got Jump 2, Mercenary to Empire, Arsenal 2, Bounty, Impervious, Independent Aim or Dodge 1, Sharpshooter 2, 3 red in melee, a versatile rocket that can be 3 black at 1 to 2 with Impact 1, Carbine at range 1 to 3 with 2 dice, 5 health, 3 courage, surge to crit, red defense dice surging, speed 3, he is an operative. He can also bring Boba's flame projector, and yeah, that's what he can bring. He's got some interesting cards. He's got Whipcord Launcher, Jetpack Rocket, and then his other newer cards are a Simple Man, Making His Way in a Galaxy, and Rule with Respect. He has a ton of command cards and a ton of options for his kit, and yet now more than ever, you don't really want to bring them. And what I mean by that is Boba Fett is very selfish. He's the emphasis of a selfish unit. He has next to no synergy with other units in the game. He is a lone wolf, and he used to be really good at it, but now that there's so many more activations and points in the game and the objectives have changed, he's not bad, but there is a reason you're not seeing him. I personally think the bounty keyword got better, and I mean, I don't know how it didn't. And on top of that, it's super cool still and good. I think bounty hunters are extremely underrated overall in this current version of the game, but I do understand why, and that's because they don't have very good synergy, and they really want to do their own thing, which is hard to do when you have more stuff than ever on the table. And Boba Fett's a prime example of that. Rule with Respect is a lot harder now that you're not deploying onto the table, so it's definitely a turn 2 play, and with how split up you may be and how few gun lines people are necessarily running, it's kind of tough. Making His Way in a Galaxy is pretty cool. Simple Man's still good, but you can easily get at range 2 of units nowadays, so it's kind of not that great anymore. Whipcord Launcher is great. It's just tying down one Force user is still amazing, but it's still 6 other activations that are coming at you as well a lot of times, so it's whatever. Jetpack Rocket's just, it's still really good. It's just so selfish. It's a 3-pip that only gives Boba Fett an order to maybe add a couple dice at range. It's just tough to validate Boba Fett with his cards. Now, without his cards, he's still amazing, and I think that's where he has a place in the game right now, is just trying to score bounty and doing his own thing. At 130 points, though, he does cost what he is now. I think Boba Fett is honestly just a solid B. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's bad. I think he's perfectly fine where he's at and deserves that rating. Next up, we have IG-88. And IG-88 is pretty decent. He is an operative as well, Mercenary for Empire only, Armor 1, Arsenal 2, Bounty as well, Impervious, Sharpshooter 1, a Rainbow in melee with Pierce 1, a 1 black, 2 white at range 1 to 3 with Versatile Pierce 1, and then his modified DLT is range 1 to 4 with 1 white, 2 black, opposites attract. 5 health, 2 courage, surges to crit, and is red defense dice. Speed 2. IG-88's pretty cool. I think he's probably one of the better bounty hunters just because of his points. Coming in just right at, coming in right at 110. He is just good as he is. I still think you would want to bring like Hunter or Precision Scopes, whatever, but honestly, if you have the right list, you don't really have to bring anything else with him, and he's a great example of you don't really need his cards for him to be effective. His 1 pip focused on the kill is definitely very good. When he attacks, if anyone has a bounty token, you can't use green tokens, and he doesn't die till the end phase. So it's just, once again, really good if you need someone to just sit there and literally be unkillable. His other cards, he can do the Machine Made for Killing as well, where he gets Steady and Demoralize 3. Also pretty solid for a 2-pip, especially in the right list. But IG-88 is probably one of our upper epsilons of what a bounty hunter should be in this current edition of the game. Someone that gives you a potential point as you go throughout the game, but also doesn't need the command cards to be terrifying or amazing. I think IG-88 is an A-, and honestly, that may be a little too much of a grade. I just think he's super solid for the bounty hunters, and it's almost like a pity grade maybe. So if you wanted to say a B+, I'm cool with that too, but I'm going to give him an A- today, just because you have a little bit more synergy than our other bounty hunters, where I think things like Dell is amazing with IG-88 to just repair 2 off of him and keep him safe. And once again, he just can get aims from people like Krennic or others in particular to make him a little bit better without necessarily having to staple more points onto his kit. Next up, we have IG-11, the lesser brother, if I do say so myself. He can go in Rebels though, which is super cool. Armor 1, Gunslinger, Impervious, Programmed, 4 red in melee, 2 white and 1 black at range 3, Pierce 1, and 1 white, 2 black at range 1 to 4. So instead of the arsenal, this guy's got Gunslinger, where you pick one of those 2 guns. He's programmed, so you have to bring 1 of 2. If you're in Empire, it's Bounty. And in Rebels, it can be Bounty or Nanny, where you can bring Grogu and even bring his 2-pip. IG-11's biggest thing for me has always been the fact that you have to bring his 3-pip. And now more than ever, without like a Lando contingencies, I just really dislike this. There's lots of good 3-pips coming into the game every time we get a new update or new character, and this anti-capture protocols card just like puts a big stop sign on me ever playing IG-11. The one place I do think he has a pretty good, niche spot in is Rebels. I think double bounty in Rebels is a super cool concept, but just go play Bad Batch for like 40 more points, 30 more points, and who needs a bounty when you can just score tons of points? But we're not going to look at other units as why IG-11's bad. It's just that 3-pip does really bother me, that it has to go in my hand. And Rebels, more than any other faction, usually have access to a bunch of command cards because, well, they have a bunch of commanders or operatives on the table. But with IG-11, his range 4 shooting is pretty impressive, especially when you do the bounty programming to give it Pierce 1, depending on which you pick, either operative or commander. The suppressive stuff is still really cool as well, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of IG-11. I think he is a B- for sure. Next up, we have Din, and I think Din is someone that people have started to recognize as really good. He's in Rebels and Empire, Arsenal 2, Bounty, Impervious, Independent Aim and Dodge, Tactical 1, 2 black with his Vibro Knife, Lethal 1 in melee. Pistol is 1 to 2, 2 red, 1 black, Lethal 1, Long Shot, and Versatile. 5 health, 3 courage. Search Crit, Search Defend. Speed 2 until you add some sick upgrades. For 15 points, you can get his Jetpack. And you can get 1 of 2 melee options, which is the Beskar Spear or his Amban Rifle, both being solid choices. And then you can also put Grogu on this bad boy as well. Don't forget about his Flame Projector for 5 points, very solid. I think Din is cool because he's one of the few bounty hunters that I would say play around with the upgrades. Try him with Grogu. Try him with the jetpack. Try him without the jetpack. Try him with the spear. Try him with the Amban rifle. Try him with the flamethrower. He's super cool. He's definitely a very versatile how you build him, what you're trying to get him to do, but normally you want the jetpack for sure. I think that's kind of an auto include for him. And then the flamethrower, I think this version of the game is just nice to have in case you do run into a super squad. It's just disgusting. And even if it's not a super squad, it's usually still really good against full health units. And then the spear or the Amban rifle is kind of up to you. I like both. I don't think the spear's bad per se. The Amban rifle's cheaper and the immobilize effect is pretty good against certain targets for sure. So you can also definitely take some upgrades. A nice solid up close and personal does not hurt this dude at all. So he's really good. I think he faces the similar problem as Boba Fett when it comes to his points, but I also think he solves a little bit more issues with his command cards. His 1-pip gives him Relentless, a dodge, and on top of that tactical, he's just going to get a bunch of tokens, and it lets him just fly across the map to get where he wants to and attack what he wants to. Really good, It's a 1 pip. Of course, you're going to be selfish. I like those odds. Is a selfish one that I'm okay with because he's attacking twice and getting an aim, really helping out, doing his own thing. Whistling Birds is very situational. Don't recommend, but can be cool if you're trying to pull off some big hits onto certain units. And because he doesn't really need this, and honestly, he doesn't really need the other two as well, if you really had to play other cards, he's a little bit better than most. I think that Din has a ton of utility. I think he fits really well in Empire or Rebels. He's like the definition of what I would call like a bruiser character. 5 health is always scary, even with red surging saves, but he has tokens and other utility in both of those factions with Empire or Rebels to keep him alive for longer and serve as more of a second distraction piece than your main piece that people are shooting at and trying to take off the board. Din can sneak into a list and coexist besides a Vader, versus Boba kind of being a little more selfish. So even though he doesn't really have synergy, he kind of synergizes by just existing. He gets tokens when you don't play cards on him, and that's awesome. That's what we want. We want him to benefit from being independent, right? So I think Din is actually an A. I said it. I think he's an A. I really like him a lot. His points may be a little too high for that grade. I could definitely see an A- for sure. But I think Din is probably the prime example of what we want in a bounty hunter. He can shoot stuff, he can hang around, he can enter melee, he can shoot at range 2, he can pop out and shoot. Don't give him any cards, that's fine. He's gonna get 2 tokens for it. Dude is a green machine when you really kid him out with the right stuff. My only complaint is he's only 5 wounds, so if you don't take care of him and he does just run into like a Ahsoka squad, for instance, he can die. Dooku can kill this dude. There's plenty of things that can take care of Din, but bounty keyword's bounty keyword. Next up, we have Cad Bane, who is a mercenary for Empire or Separatists. And obviously Shadow, my bad. Bounty, Danger Sense 3, Independent Dodge 2, Sharpshooter 1, and Steady. He's got 3 black in melee, 4 black at range 1 to 2 with Pierce 1, 6 health, 3 courage, Surge to crit, Surge to defend. He has a unique upgrade called Electro Gauntlets that is 4 red, and it has Immobilize 3 suppressive. If he has this at any time, if something has an immobilized token, he can just leave combat, which is super cool. Now, Cad Bane is kind of tough for me because the thing that I liked about Cad Bane was this cool upgrade called Comms Relay, and it just doesn't exist anymore, and it really hurts my want to play Cad Bane at all. And it's not like he had to have it, but I do really miss it. His 1 pip is great. It lets him attack twice. You can even get some cool setup where you essentially melee something, immobilize it, leave combat, and shoot, and do everything. I'm in Control now. I think is a great card. You get another unit in order as well. He can move any number of his suppression tokens to any units within range 2 of him. And they essentially get a mobilized token adding to the value of that thing. I make the rules now as one of my favorite cards in the game. I think it's super fun. You put down 3 tokens, 1 pops up Bane, 1 blows up a bomb, and 1's like, psych, this is nothing. Super cool. If you just play it normally, you get to throw a token out, and there's lots of cool, unique things you can do with that as well. Very cool, almost Rebel-like character that doesn't exist in Rebels. I'm a huge fan of Cad Bane. I love the steady keyword, but that independent dodge just doesn't exist as much anymore. I think Cad Bane, I want all 3 of his cards. His 3 pip is whatever, when in terms of order control, of course, but I just can't help myself than to put down all those tokens. But it is selfish, so we got to dock him some points for that. His dice pool is also really not that great. It is 4 black, but there's a lot of times you're just going to get like 2 hits and you pop out, pop back in, kill 2 models, and we'll make fun of Rebel characters all day for only being able to do a couple, but at least their points are starting to go down and these bounty hunters are staying up. Cad Bane's also going to have a harder time than most of these other characters, in my opinion, outside of his 1 pip, to collect the bounty, to actually finish off a unit. Without that 1 pip, he may struggle to actually finalize the job and get the bounty. Without independent dodge, he's also not that hard to one-shot by any means, especially in this version of the game with the giant dice pools that we see all the time. You can easily lose Cad Bane to a charging, Wookiee squad, Ahsoka squad, riot trooper, like whatever you want to imagine. If he doesn't have those 2 dodges and of course danger sense isn't up, he's probably just gonna die, and that feels really bad because he doesn't necessarily want to be in melee. I know his electro gauntlets give him a get out of jail free card, but it's really a one-time thing. So I think Cad Bane's inability to bounce his order like he used to get those 2 dodges does hurt him. I don't think it makes him bad, but his dice pool doesn't really do enough for me anymore to like him versus these other bounty hunters. So I'm gonna give him a B-. Once again, I don't really think he's terrible or anything like that. I just can't really get behind the amount of output he's bringing into the game. Next up, and what I believe is last up, is Bossk. Bossk and Boba were my 2 homeboys back in the day. They would be my back-to-back brochachos. They were awesome. And Bossk is still good. I think that with Bossk being in CIS, Empire, and Shadow Collective, you have lots of cool opportunities to play these guys in a variety of factions. It's also cool that Bossk being in the CIS now is, I like that. I like throwing him in CIS lists. Bounty and Rage 3, Independent Search to Regenerate 3, which is you roll 3 white dice, the end phase, and see how many have paint, you heal that many wounds. Super cool. Hope that ends up on other units. Scale, Frenzy in melee, red, white, 2 black with Pierce 1, and then his rifle at 2 to 4 is 1 red, 4 white, Pierce 1 and suppressive, 7 wounds, 2 courage, search to crit, white defense dice, no surging, and he is speed 2. Now if you don't know, the typical Bossk loadout is Hunter, which is now, forgive me, I'm going to remind myself, mission objective, nope, on the hunt, just kidding, on the hunt, and targeting scopes. That combo has been a staple on Bossk for a long time. I don't think you necessarily have to run it, but it's just like so good on him, it kind of hurts. I think the Hunter part, or on the hunt now, excuse me, is less important than it's been in the past, but still really like it. Bossk is, I think, the best bounty hunter in the game right now. That's just my personal opinion. He has 3 cards, Merciless Munition. He can throw a Mine out, which can blow up for 1 red, 1 black, critical 2 with Blast, and it hands out a poison token to everything that took, I had to roll a defense dice, essentially. Reptilian Rampage is the card that you put with him 90% of the time, unless you're just absolutely not sure you're going to do it. It lets him take a wound to do a free move action, which is insane, with a range 4 unit, and then he can shoot twice. Fantastic. Or attack twice. It doesn't even have to be a shot. Lying in Wait's interesting with how many acts can be in the game. He gets an aim for every unit that's went, and he gets Sharpshooter 1, which in this edition is great. Not a bad card by any means. Once again, just kind of selfish. But like I said, Bossk really only wants that 2-pip to start with, and then everything else is just little sprinkles on your cake, little sprinkles on your cupcake, everything like that. And I just think that he's the perfect thing that I want. He's just a gun. He's a hired gun, and he's going to shoot. He's going to get in the spot. He's going to hold down my home objective. He's going to aim, shoot, aim, shoot, aim, shoot, aim, shoot. Same concept as Cody, way less supporting of his team, so not going to enter quite that level of awesomeness. But Bossk is what I want. His dice pool is not exactly blow you away, but it's versatile enough that he does get something in melee with him and he doesn't die. He can actually hit back, and his ranged weapon is immediately useful starting turn 1 because move and range 4 is going to happen a lot if your opponent's trying to score some points. With that being said though, I think Bossk is my top pick for bounty hunter and who I would recommend just putting on the table. Him and IG-88 are pretty close, so Bossk is also just going to get an A. Yeah, he's getting an A. IG-88, I think I said A-, Bossk, A. I think Bossk is great. The regenerate keeps him around. The only problem with Bossk right now is the fact that he can get one shot. He can. So you got to keep him safe. The no backup thing is rough too. Any form of guardian you can get around him, anything like that is huge, which pretty much doesn't exist for him, unfortunately. But regenerate helps with that small plink damage. If someone moves up, shoots range 4, does 2 wounds to Bossk, this is not a big deal. So you want to take care of him for sure. You can't just throw him out in front of your opponent's armies. He will die. He is mostly non-surging defense dice besides this, 2 he gets if you didn't play a card on him. So you have to be careful, but I do think he's really solid. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, he doesn't win games. He doesn't, just tell. But he's, once again, perfect in the sense of just like Mando, you throw him in a list, the list might just get better. You don't need him to be your centerpiece. He's never going to be that. but he may never get noticed, and all of a sudden you range 4 shoot a commander, finish off that last wound, claim a bounty, and maybe he picks up 10 more models along the rest of the game by sitting, aiming, and shooting. I'm not going to really talk about Callus because I talked about it in the Empire video, but just understand that he is a bounty hunter as well. We gave him a grade. Fantastic option if you're playing Empire to add him to the list as well. Super awesome way they've handled bounty hunters in the last couple years. I love them to death. You guys let me know. I haven't played these guys as much compared to what I used to. I'm definitely looking to get some Boba Bossk back on the table and enjoy these times. My lights went out. That means it's time for your lights to go out. Thanks for watching. Till next time, good luck. Have fun.